It took 10 minutes to build a working AI agent. Not in a research lab, not by a team with PhDs, by a developer sitting at their laptop following a 10-minute tutorial. That's the AI native stack. And if you're building anything on the web today, it's already reshaping how you work. This episode pulls together 11 things I've been tracking that tell one story. The entire developer workflow, from user interface to deployment, is being rebuilt from scratch. Not incrementally improved. Rebuilt. And honestly, it's moving so fast that most people haven't noticed yet. Let's start with the face of every application, the user interface. For years, if you wanted to build a modern web app, you had two choices. Use a heavy component library like Bootstrap or Material that gave you everything but felt generic. Or build everything from scratch, which was beautiful until deadline day. Then came ShackNUI, and it did something radical. Instead of shipping you a package to install, it gives you the code. You copy it. It lives in your project. You own it. It's like a component library that respects you as a developer. And it includes things like a carousel component, perfect for photo galleries, product showcases, any project where you need to cycle through visual content without reinventing the wheel. But here's where it gets interesting. Not everyone agrees that copy-paste components are the endgame. Critics say it's just glorified code duplication. And historically, they have a point. Package managers and dependency systems exist for a reason. But the counterargument is that in an AI-native world, owning your code matters more than ever. When an AI agent is reading, modifying, and generating your components, having them directly in your project, not hidden in node modules, makes everything more transparent. Meanwhile, Google is going even further with something called Stitch. Instead of assembling components yourself, you describe what you want in plain language, and Stitch generates the UI design for you. It integrates directly with the AI SDK for custom agentic workflows. This isn't just creating ad layouts. It's full interface generation tied to real data. And then there's ToolDraw, which took a completely different angle. They launched ToolDraw Computer, a canvas-based visual computing environment. Instead of writing code line by line, you're drawing, connecting, and manipulating visual elements that the AI interprets and implements. It's like the difference between typing a document and using a whiteboard with a collaborator who can actually build what you sketch. What's fascinating is that all three, ShackNUI, Stitch, and ToolDraw, represent a spectrum. On one end, you're handcrafting every pixel. In the middle, you're describing what you want and AI assembles it. On the far end, you're literally drawing your application on a canvas. The UI layer is becoming programmable, generative, and increasingly multimodal. Now let's talk about what those user interfaces are actually talking to. Because the backend of web applications is undergoing its own revolution. Vercel just released version 5 of their AI SDK, and they demonstrated building a fully functional agent in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. An agent that can reason, make tool calls, and maintain conversation state. Think about how long that took just 2 years ago. But building one agent is just the beginning. The real breakthrough is the Vercel Chat SDK, which they recently open-sourced in public beta. Here's what it does in practice. You write your bot logic once, using TypeScript, and deploy it everywhere. Slack, Discord, Microsoft Teams, Google Chat, Telegram, WhatsApp, GitHub, even Linear for your project management. One code base, every platform. Under the hood, it's using an event-driven architecture with type-safe handlers, JSX-based UI components that render natively on each platform, and distributed state management through Redis. Plus, it has first-class streaming support for AI responses, so your bot doesn't just spit out answers. It streams them in real time, like a person typing. And this connects directly to something Guillermo Rauch from Vercel has been preaching. He argues that asking for something better than chat is missing the point entirely. His prediction? Chat doesn't get replaced. Chat blends more deeply with work and life until it becomes the primary interface for everything. The future isn't moving past chat. It's making chat generative. The interface itself adapts to what you need in real time. Now, the counterargument here is real and worth sitting with. Are we rushing to make every app an agent before we've figured out reliability? Hallucination is still a problem. An agent deployed to Slack that confidently gives wrong information is arguably worse than no agent at all. And the engineering overhead of maintaining distributed state across 8 chat platforms for one bot is not trivial. But here's the thing both sides agree on. The trajectory is clear. Whether we get there in 2 years or 5, the assumption that every application will be agent accessible, not just human navigable, is becoming the default. Which brings us to the most underrated part of this whole story, the stuff you never see. Next.js 16.2 just dropped, and buried in the changelog is something quiet but significant. This version introduces improvements specifically designed for AI-assisted development. The project structure, the tooling, the way agents interact with Next.js projects. It's all being rewritten with AI agents as a first-class consideration, not an afterthought. And then there's the infrastructure layer that makes running these agents viable. Vercel published a guide on using GPU memory snapshots to speed up sandbox cold starts. Here's why that matters in plain English. When an AI agent needs to run code, it typically spins up a container. Cold starts can take seconds. With GPU and container memory snapshots, that startup time drops dramatically. It's the difference between an agent that feels instant and one that feels sluggish. Meanwhile, the team at Resend partnered with Vercel to solve one of those problems that every developer dreads: email DNS configuration. If you've ever tried to set up transactional emails for a production app, you know about SPF records, DKIM keys, MARC policies. It's a whole thing. Now, if your domain is hosted on Vercel, Resend configures all of it automatically. One click. Done. The narrative bridge here is simple. The most exciting part of AI development isn't the models or the frameworks. It's the friction disappearing everywhere around them. When setting up email takes one click, spinning up agent sandboxes takes milliseconds, and your framework is optimized for AI tooling. The only constraint left is your creativity. So what does this all mean for you, the person actually writing code? Google's Project IDX launched something called Interactive Chat, and I think it captures where we're headed. This isn't a chatbot that answers questions about your code. It's an AI assistant that acts directly in your development environment. You prompt it to refactor components, debug functions, read files, execute terminal commands, and generate new code. And critically, you stay in control. You preview every file change and approve every command before it executes. Think about what happens when you connect the dots. An AI agent writes code in your IDX environment, built on frameworks designed for agent access like Next.js and the AI SDK, deployed instantly through Vercel with email handled by Resend, using UI components from Shag that the AI can modify directly, with designs generated by Stitch from your natural language description. You're not typing every line anymore. You're composing the orchestra. You're deciding what gets built, reviewing the results, and steering the direction. The role of developer is shifting from bricklayer to architect, and that's the human angle that matters most. This isn't about AI replacing developers. It's about developers who use AI outcompeting developers who don't. The productivity gap is going to widen, and the people on the right side of it are the ones who learn to conduct the stack instead of playing every instrument. 10 years ago, launching a production application meant months of infrastructure setup, weeks of component development, and a whole lot of praying the DNS records were correct. Today, it takes a prompt, a preview, and a deploy button. The AI native stack isn't coming. It's already here. The question isn't whether you'll use it. It's whether you'll be early enough to build on top of it, or late enough to compete with everyone who did. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more deep dives into the tools shaping how we build. I'll see you in the next episode. Production Notes, Episode EP 11, The AI Native Stack. Length, approximately 8 minutes, approximately 1250 words. Voice, NUS Intraneural. Rate, -12%. Style, conversational, authoritative but accessible. Sources covered, 11 items. 1. Shadchan UI. 2. Shadchan Carousel Component. 3. Versal AI SDK 5 Demo. 4. Google Stitch AI SDK Integration. Google Labs 5. Guillermo Rauch on Chat and Generative UI. Versal 6. Resend Versal Integration. Automatic DNS Configuration 7. Versal Chat SDK. Tweet. Docs. Changelog. Template. 8. Next.js 16.2. AI-focused development improvements 9. Versal KB. GPU snapshots for sandbox startup. 10. Tooldraw Computer. 11. Google IDX Interactive Chat. idx.google.com Perspectives woven. Primary. The AI native tooling wave. Counter. Reliability and hallucination concerns. Alternative. Visual versus code-first development. Historical. Bootstrap and Material UI evolution. Adjacent. Canvas-based collaboration tools. Human. Developer role shifting from bricklayer to architect. Key statistics. 10 minutes to build an AI agent. 8+ chat platforms supported by Chat SDK. Version 5 of AI SDK. Next.js 16.2 Audio. Cues. Brief pause after hook. Slight tempo increase in section 2. Agents. Slow down for the closing reflection.